Hello, how are you? I'm sorry I haven't called. I know it's been a while, but you know how that goes. You get busy and then you don't call, and then it sort of snowballs into this thing where it might seem like I intentionally didn't call. All of a sudden there's just this bad blood, this pool of angst that you're going to have to address next time you talk. So you just keep putting it off. And anyway, here we are. I'm calling this season 2 of What's Your Yarn Worth with Andy Farnsworth. And this episode, I think you'll enjoy this one. My guest is Margaret Dodge. She is a comedian here in New York City, and she has been here for quite a while. And I don't want to spoil too much here. You'll kind of see what I'm figuring out about her and what she's figuring out about me as you listen. I'll just say that this is one of the first episodes that I recorded, and it's from the first half of it is from October 25th, actually, of 2015, and it's in Central Park, which you would think would be peaceful and serene on a Sunday, but it is not. There is a lot going on. But I think I was such a perfectionist, I didn't want to release it at first. And I asked her to talk again later in February. That second half is the conversation we had in February at her new apartment. Anyway, you'll see. I don't know what you'll see. I don't know why I said that. Hi, how are you? Oh my God. I just feel like there's so much to catch up on. I don't want to pretend like my life is this soap opera that you need to keep tabs on. But a lot has changed in the few months here. Let's see, the last one I released was in March, and that was with Eric Allemand. You should listen to that one. It's a good one. It's in a barber shop. It's my barber. But, I started dating somebody, and I have a girlfriend. I'm saying those are the same. Those two things are sequentially linked. I'm not dating someone and I have a girlfriend. You get it. I learned, we had this conversation, that dating, everybody has a different understanding what the word dating means. I mean, some people it sounds very casual. To me, it sounds pretty formal. I think dating is serious, but anyway, so I have a girlfriend. I'll just say it that way. And have for a couple months now. And it's good. I'll talk more about that probably as time moves on. Hopefully. It's a trip, man. I haven't been with anybody for a couple years. And it's just this reflection. You just have this reflection of your mental state there for you. You think it's about them, but it's not. It's really about your... I mean, it probably is about her to some extent, but I mean... You know what I mean? If you're a moody person... when you're with somebody, it's just this reflection of your moods all the time, which is not kind of easy to face. If you're alone, you don't have to deal with it, but when you're with somebody, you're like, you have to kind of do a certain amount of attitude hygiene, if that's a thing. I hate those words, but that's really what it is, because you can't just be a bummer all the time. And I know people think, oh, Andy, you're just a ray of light and sunshine. But I am not in private. I'm just a brooding man. In fact, I slouch. I actually have a sickle that I carry with me. A scythe. And I just use that to chop garlic, mostly. I have a scythe. And I wear a black cape. A dark black cloak, actually. And I have a scythe. That's my internal state. This is a little bit of a mixed metaphor and perhaps a bit of a reach. I'm taking liberties with you, and I apologize for that. No, I don't. I'm trying not to apologize so much. It's beautiful out. Did I say that? It's been like 6 days of just darkness and gloom. Rainy. And it's not. It's nice. What else do I want to tell you about this one? Margaret Dodge, who is my guest. She has a show. Oh my God, I've been talking for a while. Margaret has a show on Radio Free Brooklyn, and that's on Fridays at 7. She's on Twitter at Dodge City Radio, and you should check her out. She's one of those people I actually had to cut out a lot of stuff that I talked to her about because I just wasn't ready to share it with you guys yet. I will one of these days, but she's just an easy person to talk to and very funny, and she probably has done more to explain. Like, I love animals, but Margaret, talking to her and kind of understanding how much she has arranged her life around her cats specifically, has taught me a lot. Don't ever call somebody a cat person, a cat lady, dismissively. I hope that's the theme of this episode. Because there are different levels of cat care and love, and I would say Margaret is like at Gandhi level. Margaret is the Gandhi of cats, of trap, neuter, release. I hope I've covered everything. Oh, the second part, the first half is about 20 some minutes or so, and then the next part is in her apartment. That's in February, the end of February of this year. So I don't know what, October, November, December, 5 months after. I hope it makes sense to you, and I hope that you enjoy it. And most importantly, I'm glad that we're back. Here you go. This is Margaret Dodge in Central Park. I took ancient Greek, koinonia Greek.
The smell of horse manure is a little distracting.
I don't smell it.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
Your nose is broken. Okay, so the other thing I was thinking about is we have to be concerned about getting killed by a cyclist.
Well, can we go totally in?
Yeah, let's get away from the cyclists.
We should describe the scene because this is
I thought
audio.
You know.
It's beautiful. We're in Central Park. The leaves are totally changing, right?
Yeah. There's hordes of people.
There's a lot of people, and you can still get run over in the park.
Yeah, we're being very careful crossing one of the main thoroughfares right now. And this is really, I think, the first time I've really met you in person, right?
Yes, hello.
Nice to meet you. Look, people are on blankets with bare feet.
That seems damp.
Yeah. Which way should we go?
You tell me. You're the...
I feel really stupid for suggesting Central Park on Sunday.
No way. This is awesome.
I once... I know a dog who lives on Central Park South. It's a pit bull named Winston.
Oh, that's a good name.
And a few years ago, I wasn't really working, and a mutual friend of mine and Winston's owner.
We've experienced, but I think...
Okay. A little bit of...
Where you never turn around, see the faces of the frowns on the jungles and the clouds when the yoking down. Be the tricks for you.
Yeah. So, so I wasn't really working at the time, and my friend Marianne told her friend who owned Winston, Margaret could, take care of Winston. So I came up here like twice a day. I was living on the Lower East Side at the time, just to walk Winston. It was like, I swear, the happiest time of my life, walking this pit bull in Central Park. And the thing is, like, I've lived in the city for a long time, and I feel like I'm friends with dogs, and sometimes I'm indifferent to their human companions. And so I heard through our mutual friend that Winston wasn't doing so well. He lost a leg.
Oh.
He's, getting older. And so I called Winston's owner. I guess I can just say Billy. I'm afraid Billy will hear this, but he probably won't.
Billy
doesn't
matter. He won't
anyway.
know.
But I called him, and I said I wanted to visit. And then I ended up running into him later And I was asking about Winston, and he was like, wait a minute, you called me because you want to see Winston, like not see him.
Yeah.
And then there's this dog I know on the Lower East Side. And I mean, I like Winston's owner.
Yeah. But the dog...
I'm not saying I don't.
Yeah.
But I forgot that, you know, I was maybe more interested in the dog than the human that was attached to the dog. And then I felt bad.
But you can't just live in a world where you just go and talk to dogs. I mean, they need someone to answer the phone for them.
I kind of can. If I run into them around town, you know, they're still...
Are you like a real hardcore animal I mean, I love animals. I don't have any right now. I can't really.
Right.
Do you have a cat, dog?
I have 2 cats. Roger and Wile E. Coyote.
How old are they? Let's go over here.
Okay. Yeah, there's music playing down there. Roger's estimated age is about 4. Wile E. Coyote is 6. Wile E. Coyote was my father's cat. My father died 3 years ago, and I adopted Wiley at the time. Roger, I found last January shivering and starving to death in my neighborhood, and I took her in. And she's partly responsible for the rift between me and my landlord because I didn't ask if I could get a second cat.
And then he proceeded
he found out about it, and he used it as an excuse to, you know, terrorize me.
Like, he sounds like you post a lot about it on Facebook. Like, he snores very loud, right? You can hear him snoring.
I can hear most bodily functions emanating from him if he's downstairs.
Grunt? You hear like sexual grunting?
I don't think he gets that much. So,
well, but I mean, you could do that on your own.
Oh, do people really grunt a lot when they masturbate?
That's a question for the ages. I mean, I don't know if we could ever arrive at like a real conclusion about that. Look at this. This is fucking ridiculous. How beautiful that. This is like. Sorry, I just revealed my New York.
Do it.
Naivety.
Watch out for this extreme rollerblader.
This is the.
You don't smell that horse shit?
Now I do. Okay, yeah. Wow. So Winston.
I still haven't gotten to visit him though. Winston.
You still didn't say how long you have been here. I sense it's a while.
Since 92. You mean in New York City?
Yeah.
Yeah, since 92.
Wow. So 8.
Yeah.
20-some. 23. Oh, there's an ice. What the fuck? There's an ice
Wallman rink. Well, no, it's called something. I think it's called Trump.
Okay, I'm looking at Big Bird.
Oh man, there's no visuals on this thing, but there's a big bird who looks. You know what I like about this big bird? He just looks like he's just a regular dude hanging out in the park. He's sitting on a bench.
Wait, you've seen this big bird before? This is one of the regulars?
No, I mean his body language just says, yeah, I'm just big bird hanging out on a park bench outside Wallman Rink. What are you doing? You know?
You never get to see Big Bird like really need to just like sit down. You know? Like this is a rare moment.
Oh, and now he's got, which one is that?
It's Elmo.
So is this like a, Elmo.
I think this is trademark. I think
Elmo hung out with Big Bird.
This seems like not.
It's a little too warm out today.
Okay, so it's Big Bird.
Oh, now there's...
With Cookie Monster.
Aren't they from different... What's the word I'm looking for? Elmo's not part of Sesame Street, is it?
I don't know. It's a good question. What?
So let's do this. Let's ice skate at the same time.
We really could.
Well, we couldn't actually.
Is that real ice?
Yeah, it's real ice.
It's not even that cold.
Well,
it's the Trump hockey rink. It's a Trump has sponsored the.
I know. It used to be called Wallman Rink.
This is one thing, this kind of stuff is hard for me to process about New York, because we were just walking, and then we looked to the right, and there's an ice skating rink and Big Bird.
Right.
But what do you call that? Ventriloquizing? What's the verb?
Elmo is Big Bird's dummy. Big Bird is Elmo's ventriloquist. That's the relationship going on there.
But the joke is which one's the dummy. That's usually the...
And the three humans sitting there don't seem fazed or interested in the slightest. The one guy's eating his lunch. What's the guy doing with his...
Butt crack. You can see that guy's butt crack. Do you see that?
Oh, I see deep, voluptuous butt crack.
That is actual, like, real cleavage.
It looks unintentional, though. A lot of the butt crack you see around town is intentional.
Really?
Fashioned.
Boy. Big Bird's just a real center of light, bringing people together.
Yeah.
It's a clean outfit. Sometimes sometimes you see these guys wearing this stuff and it's like dingy and old.
The Big Bird costume?
Well, some of the like rental
Well, I'm sure there's fecal matter on it anyway. You just can't see it. There's fecal matter on everything. I mean, I don't think you'd go down there and lick it, right?
I want to
just saying
keep
it
moving
looks fresh.
I think this is freaking me out a little
There's
bit.
probably the equivalent of, what's that stuff you spray on new suede? Because how, that's a good question. How is Big Bird's outfit looking so fresh? I guess we're just supposed to believe he's a real bird and that, cleans his feathers.
It could be
the
that
way any bird would.
That guy is like independently wealthy and he's got like a closet full of like Big Bird outfits.
Right. He never wears the same one twice.
I want to go away from
people.
Too many worlds colliding.
Yeah.
Like just
I
calm.
want to go away from horse manure.
I don't smell it as much.
I have a very sensitive nose. Do you speak any other languages?
Well, I took like 7 years of French, but I can't speak it at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not Winston. Wow. Okay.
Is he barking at the horse? I think he's upset about the horse.
Yeah, probably. Probably sees a fellow animal being exploited. Either that or he wants to eat him.
I mean, I find it's weird, like, if you're talking to people, I mean, there's all the biographical stuff I could ask you about, like, where you're from.
No, this is a huge pile of horseshit, like, right in the middle. Right in the middle of
literally,
the walkway.
Not just what I'm saying. There's literally a huge pile of horseshit.
No, I mean, I'm comfortable with the sort of ad hoc nature of this.
I'm usually interested in what people are interested in at the moment, like
right.
what's bothering them, or like for me, one of the big issues right now. In fact, right before I was meeting you, I was dropping off a check to my therapist, and he like kind of got me to. This might be too much, like all at once, but like this last session kind of got me to like make this connection with like why I do stand up. And I've been bedridden for the last week because of it. Like it totally shut me down. I think it's like PTSD stuff, to be honest with you.
No, I've been experiencing a lot of PTSD because of my landlord, because my father was a rageaholic, and there was a lot of, I grew up in an abusive home with a lot of violence, and
like he was a hitter, a yeller.
Both.
Yeah.
I had an older brother and sister, and my mother got the beatings, and I didn't get beaten, and I kind of have always been a little upset to say that, as if to say that means like I somehow got away with something and I wasn't harmed. But my current therapist very much says that's just at least as bad, because you were a witness to all this and you can't do anything about it. So you grow up with this like helplessness. And so, yeah, I mean, I was in therapy for a long time before I got sober, but I talked about my family a lot, but I don't know. I think I was impeded from really healing because I hadn't even been diagnosed yet as an alcoholic, and I hadn't begun that recovery.
Yeah. Well, you diagnosed yourself, right? Like, it's not. Did you have a shrink go like you're an alcoholic?
No,
I had one. I
had a resentment that she didn't do that.
I had one do that. He would do this thing where he would get me to say in the first person this stuff. Like, one was he tried to get me to say. He's like, say it. He's like, I'm an alcoholic. Like, say it with, like, he was trying to get me to say it. And then he tried to get me to say I was gay. And I was like, and that's, like, that, honestly, that would be fine, whatever. But I was like, this is weird. I'm not going to repeat after you, like, and say.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, so.
Is this music going to be a problem?
No, I think this is victorious music that, like, is a nice contrast. I like to have.
A little swell at the appropriate moments. Underlying our speeches. We're also in the baking sun all of a sudden.
Do you want to move to the shade? What is this? It's some kind of Broadway soundtrack.
We could just move a couple benches over. So, but the PTSD is with my landlord because
I bet, man.
It's having...
That's huge. That would be so triggering. Because it's like beneath your feet, right? Is he below you?
He is below me in a windowless cellar that he's probably not even supposed to be living in. But there's not a lot of, like the hallway goes along the length of my apartment, and he has to go along that hallway to get to his door to go downstairs. And so I can hear him, and there's not good insulation or whatever it is. So, but I've noticed that even when I hear the metal grate out front, or gate, there's a little metal wrought iron gate. And it's not always him, because sometimes it's the neighbors who live above me coming home. But when I hear that noise, I am so triggered. Like my chest and my stomach like seize up in terror.
Yeah.
Just to hear that, and it might not even be him.
I get it, yeah.
And so that's how I became aware of this, and I'm glad I was in therapy when this started happening, because, and I'm glad I was mindful enough to just be able to say to myself in the moment, okay, you're having like a severe, near seizure of fear, because your neighbor came home. So this is not normal, and we need to look into this. So,
but knowing, like, intellectually, you still have to live with this. Your body just saying, run, or flight.
And I'll move sometime. I have a year left on my lease, and I haven't started looking yet. I'll move at some point, and it'll be in the past. And I also know that I'm not in danger.
Yeah.
Like this, he's somebody who has harassed me to a certain extent and has like a kind of menacing, way about him. He's not friendly to me, whatever is going on with him. But that's not the same thing as like, I think he's gonna come in and take an axe to me or whatever. Like, I know I'm not in danger, like living adjacent to this man.
That would seem in violation of your rights as a tenant. Axe-wielding landlord.
Can you call 311 for that?
I haven't called 311. I had a mold problem in mine.
Oh, I called 311 once. It was upsetting.
About this situation?
No. I was going to the train, and on my way to the train, there was a parked car, and there was a kitten stuck in the hood, and you could hear it meowing. It's meowing its head off. And there was this woman, this good Samaritan, who had the one person among all the people walking by. Everyone else was like, do-do-do-do, going about their day. Yep, I hear a kitten meowing its head off in terror, but I don't give a shit. But there was this one woman who's like, you could see the pain on her face. She was like, she had written a sign. You know, she was afraid that the owner of the car was going to come back and start the car, not knowing that there was a kitten in it, and it would, like, the kitten would die from the engine starting or whatever. And she wanted to try to get this kitten out, but she didn't know how. And I called 311, and they gave me the number for animal control. And I'm like, animal control is not what you want here. You know, animal control is like extermination.
It's the final solution.
We don't want to exterminate the kitten.
No, because they would get it out and then they would do something with it. They would it would be like child family services, right? They'd be like, whose cat is this?
I don't even think they would do anything. Animal control is when you have an infestation of rats or...
I really relate to that kitten. I mean, that's
So I don't know what happened, but I couldn't really stick around. I can't remember where I was going, but I had to be somewhere. But I called the cat rescuer I knew in the neighborhood, Martha. I emailed her and I told her the situation, and she wasn't available, but she supposedly sent someone else over. And by the time I went back later in the evening, the car wasn't there, so I don't know what happened.
How do you know that Martha is the cat rescue lady? How did that connection happen?
Because I'm a cat rescue lady,
Okay.
but I do a little...
So you guys found each other?
I do a little light cat rescue on the side. Martha has...
She's full-time.
Do you know about trap, neuter, return?
I mean, I think it sounds pretty self-explanatory.
What do you think it is?
I think you trap it, and then you neuter it, and then you return it to the wild. I'm guessing.
Yeah, but there's a specific training program to learn how to do it properly. There's a lot involved. Community cats live in these colonies, and a lot of them are not adoptable. Like, even if you could find homes for them, a lot of them are just, they've lived for too long. You know why cats meow? Cats, if a cat meows, you know it has been around humans, because a cat that has never been around a human will not meow, because they're imitating our voices when they do that. So they are trying to communicate with us when they do that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, when I did this training...
Wait, hold on. This is good stuff. I don't want the CIA Black Ops helicopter to interrupt. Sorry. So...
No problem. So you're right. You trap them, you take them to the ASPCA. They have mobile vans where you can take them in different locations. And if you're certified in TNR, as I am, you can get their services for free. They'll give it shots and neuter it. And then you pick it up at the appointed time. You put it back in the colony. And they clip the end of the left ear off, so that future trappers will know not to trap it again. That's like our shorthand.
Wow.
That's cat lady shorthand for this cat's good, move on to the next one. You know, overpopulation is a big problem. So when I did the training, I found out that Martha was very active in my neighborhood. And she, the last time I checked, had trapped and returned something like 250 cats. But she moved to East New York. She's not doing Bed-Stuy anymore.
Martha.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I have deep connections in the cat rescue community. Not to brag or anything. It's my scene.
Hi, so that's the first part of the conversation. And then here, this second part here is in February of 2016, end of February. And we go to Margaret's new apartment. She's since gotten away from her landlord at this point, her old tyrannical landlord. And she's now, she's trapped about, I don't know, four cats. I should get my facts straight. But she basically has a separate room for all these cats now that she's trapped at this point. And they're not always there, but this was a particular point where she'd caught a bunch of cats that were in her backyard, and she was getting them all fixed up and ready to go back out into the world. And in a way, I should say, I am myself sort of a feral cat at this point in February. Not doing well. I had just not too long ago been told by this doctor that she thought I was bipolar, and without, I hate fucking saying that to you, because it's annoying when people just throw that shit out there, and I realize that it's like way too much. But I've been told this a few times, and this was kind of the final straw. Yeah, it wasn't a psychiatrist, but I've had shrinks tell me this, and I was really grappling with what to do, whether or not I should take medicine for it, and I was actually tapering off another one. So if you've ever done that, you know what a roller coaster that is. There is no greater high than coming off an antidepressant. There is no greater low. Maybe I should say that. So that's where I'm at when I'm recording this section here. So here you go. Hey, I'm back. Can you buzz the door? Hey, Margaret, are you downstairs?
I'm downstairs.
Hi.
Oh, did you go upstairs?
Yeah. It's good to see you. Hi.
Me too.
It's good.
I thought he was you. Hi.
Oh.
Just for a second.
I haven't eaten for a while. He could be me. I don't know.
Do you want to eat?
Hi, cats. No, I don't think so. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Thanks for having me over.
Sure, thanks for coming over.
I'm a little on edge. I got in a fight with the guy at the bodega.
Are
The
you
cross-eyed guy.
serious?
Do you know that guy?
No.
The guy had... It catches me off guard when I have confrontation. I don't walk around ready to fight, right? With people. So when I get mad, it's a huge surprise to me. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, I never go like, oh, this is that thing. It's like a foreign body in my body. If that makes sense. So I'm always surprised by it. Anyway, I was surprised by how angry this cross-eyed man who was supposed to make my sandwich was. Here's what it is. The core of it, he was on his phone, like trying to take my order, and he fucked it up because he was on the fucking phone. And I'm like, I said I'll have a turkey sandwich. First of all, his back was to me and he's on the phone, right? At the deli counter. And I go, hi, can I order a sandwich? And, I don't know, what am I supposed to say? Hello?
What corner was this?
Down on Dean and...
Bedford? No.
This one, the next big one.
Nostrand.
Not Dean and Nostrand.
Oh, I wouldn't even set foot in that place. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's your fault for doing that. You wanted a sandwich. You'd go
yeah,
to
no,
corner
usually
deli.
Yeah. And I said, I'd like the sandwich. She's on the phone. There's something about that gets me, like, in a really core, like, childlike way. When people are ignoring me on the phone, like, it's an issue. Like, it really bothers me, like, more than it should. And so I didn't like having to flag him down in the first place, right? So I'm already miffed. And I said, turkey sandwich, lettuce, tomato, mayo, cheese. No cheese. I don't want cheese. Mm-hmm. And he starts making...
I have to unbutton my pants, and I'm so embarrassed about it. But, like, it just has to be done, and I couldn't really do it without saying something about it. So
yeah, I appreciate
no
you
cheese.
said something.
No cheese.
No cheese. He starts making the sandwich.
And I have rice on my shirt, so I'll remove that.
And I just said I ordered a roll, and he was making it on a hero, right? And I said, I'm sorry to interrupt you while you're on the phone. You know, like really hot. I didn't say it like that. I said it like much louder and more, angrier. I'm sorry to interrupt you while you're on the phone to ask you to make me a sandwich. And then this other guy, this hero, this man, this MTA guy who was just in the store goes, I heard him say roll. Which I love. That guy will go, he'll never know how important that was for me. That was really validating. I really needed that guy to stick up for me, and he did. And anyway, I walked out. Because I don't want someone making my food angry at me.
Right.
I don't get it how people do that. I don't get it.
Which brings us to this cake that you've been making.
What?
Anger cake. Andy's recipe for anger cake.
It's just a gluten-free chocolate cake.
So, no, but you said, I don't know the whole story behind the anger cake. I'm calling it anger cake.
I bake a cake at people.
Yeah, so
with
how
chocolate
often
frosting.
do you do this? And are you baking a cake at a specific person for a specific offense, or is it broader than that?
It's a medicine to cover a lot of wounds.
So it's a general anger cake.
Anger, sadness, rejection.
Oh, wow.
Fear. Sometimes a fear cake. I have eating issues.
Okay.
That's why that was such a vortex. It was eating. It
But
was
I feel
abandonment.
like if...
You don't want to hear the whole story. I didn't finish.
Okay.
This guy's eyes were like... There's cross-eyed and then there's like... Really like built into your head cross-eyed. And he was that. And so I was mad that I was mad at him for being cross-eyed. It's because I'm supposed to like not be like that. But... That compounded my anger. Anyway, it's over. But that was really tied a bow off on my day. Sorry. Cake.
No.
Why am I apologizing to you? I walk around apologizing for my existence. Oh, I'm tired of it, Margaret.
It ends right here.
Okay, thank you. I feel safe
Except
here.
when you really need to apologize, should apologize.
You do need to apologize, and I miss those. There's important ones that you do need to apologize. It's important. Anyway, but yeah, I feel good here. I feel safe. Is this too late? We don't have to record for too long.
No, it's good. It's a good time for me.
What did you do today? You worked out.
Saturdays are kind of a recovery-a-thon for me. I just have the one, I have these 2 back-to-back commitments that are a total of like 4 all day, like 4 or 5 hours. It's related to 12-step endeavors to better myself.
It's how we go to the gym, but for our insides.
Yeah,
for our brain,
gym for the soul.
Which I haven't been to one in a few days. It's since
to the
Wednesday.
Regular gym or the
inside soul gym.
Oh well,
So
that
that's
can
part of it.
contribute to some of that.
But it's also
edginess,
to back up.
don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've been really fucking thrown off since this doctor told me that again.
Okay. Well, so are they suggesting some kind of treatment or?
Yeah, I mean, she sent me to another doctor. So it's like, it's just that I get it. There are no hard and fast labels. I'm not a victim of someone's diagnostics. It's just that it's not the first time it's been said to me. My other thing wasn't working, my other medicine. And it was 2 hours before a date. And I feel like since I started...
Did you tell her?
The doctor?
Date?
That I would just diagnose bipolar, or was just told that I might be by an old Russian lady?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. And I was...
What did you think of the date?
Well, I thought it was fine, but she didn't. It was... She was too young for me, but it still hurt I thought we had a connection, but I guess not. But at this point, I don't know anymore. If I'm running the show. Anyway, about who's picking stuff, I don't know, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Do I seem crazy? I think I feel crazy.
Well...
I feel really crazy. Ever since this, it's making me question everything.
Crazy is one of those words that doesn't really mean anything.
I know. I hate to use that word.
You and I share, we both have a mental illness.
Yeah.
But we're treating it so
Right.
crazy is kind of a meaningless word.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And it's judgmental.
It is. It's a quick shorthand for a certain thing. No.
Right.
But it's almost so
But
general.
that certain thing is kind of shifting.
Right.
You know?
That's
it
true.
It can mean like, am I just like wacky and unstable, or am I delusional, or you know?
Well, it's made me question my instincts a lot. So.
What has made you question your instincts?
The doctor, the look on her face as she said to me that she thinks I'm bipolar or whatever. Because I know she's a GP. So, whatever. But
a GP diagnosed you as bipolar.
She was just asking. Again, and I get it. I know the drill. I know she's not a professional, but it's just like I hate it. I don't want to take that shit. You take medicine for it?
No, I don't. I'm actually not bipolar.
I thought you said I'm Margaret Dodge. I'm bipolar and loving every other minute of it.
I was diagnosed as bipolar.
Oh, but you're
a long time ago, and then it turns out I was just an alcoholic.
Oh my God! I have another friend. Well, I know I'm an alcoholic.
I mean, I've suffered from depression for over 20 years at this point, but I'm. You know, last year was really rough. I actually just turned a corner, though. Like, I feel pretty good. And,
That's great.
And I'm really relieved because it was getting to the point where I was having to think about medicine, and I really don't want to do it. And I really feel for you because...
It makes your dick not work.
Even if... I
don't know.
Well, my dick's in a cupboard, and it would still work, but... Whatever.
Well, good. Look at you.
I can't believe I said that. Okay. What was I saying?
Oh, your dick's in a cupboard. I get it.
Yeah. What do you think I meant? Mine will still work no matter what medicine I take.
Yeah, but it affects your stuff.
I know what you're saying. Well, here's the thing. I didn't even really think about that. What I was most scared of is... you know, the adjustment period, because it doesn't necessarily just start, like, work the way it's intended right off the bat. You have to make adjustments. I'm really afraid of, like, having long periods of having to tinker with the amounts to get it right, and the kind of disruption that could cause, and the kind of mental instability that could cause. And then I'm really afraid of like having a hard time getting off it when I want to.
Yeah.
So I haven't been medicated for a long time, and I'm really relieved that I seem to have, broken through to a place where I feel like I'm okay, and that's not going to be necessary.
That's great.
So relieved. And I mean, who knows, it could change, but yeah, I'm just really scared of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a lot. I mean, granted, I probably can't talk too much about all the particulars, but I am doing so much for my mental health right now.
You can cut it out. But
no, I mean, I can list the different things I'm doing. I'm in, more than one 12-step fellowship. I've been in therapy now for like a year and change. I'm doing like, this it sounds so boring. I love to talk about extreme self-care.
No, it's...
And how committed I am to it right now.
Yeah.
But I feel so boring because it ends up me talking about how much I love to get 8 hours of sleep and be properly hydrated and go to the gym 3 times a week and like all the things that I have to do. But it's working for me. And if I slip off it, it seems disastrous. I mean,
what is the boring thing? What is that about? Because I relate to that. Why do you say that?
That I fear that I'm boring.
Why do you say that in regards to taking care of yourself? Because I relate. I understand what you're saying.
That's a good question.
There's an older version of me that like would like kind of recoil at me saying I'm going to, meetings all the time. I'm going to bed. I'm trying to go to bed on time. There's an old mean person inside me that's like, fuck that, burn it down. What are you doing? Rage against the...
Yeah. No, I think it's I don't judge myself for being so committed to self-care these days, but maybe I've just heard myself tell one too many people about how I have to have 8 hours of sleep or else, and it's like a broken record at this point. And how many people don't realize what kind of disastrous health effects you can get from chronic sleep deprivation, and that most people don't know how much sleep they really need, and they don't get it.
Right. That also when you feel like you're on a script, and I don't know if you feel like this, but when I feel like I'm talking and I'm on a script and I'm saying these things, there's another voice in me. This might be a comic thing, but you're not comfortable with the fact that you're using like well-trodden verbal paths. Like, so you start to feel like everything you say is a cliche, and there's another voice that's like, man, you're just saying the same shit over and over. You don't really believe it anymore. I mean, that's what's happening with me when I feel that way.
You mean because I'm saying things that I've said enough times before that I feel like I must be trite or something?
No, it was just reacting to what you said about how you said it, something about a script. You felt like you were on a script. Mm-hmm. And I zeroed in on that because that's a thing for me, where I feel like in meetings or something, or just talking to people, I hear myself saying things that are right in their nature, like they're accurate about me, but I've said them, they're like talking point, they're like personal talking points. Mm-hmm. And I have I start to have a problem. I start to hear another voice in me that's like, you've said this before.
Right.
You're saying talking points.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers me. Maybe it's a writery thing or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's what you were saying, but I superimposed my insecurity onto yours.
No, I think you picked up on something. I don't need to... I can just say something. I don't... If I'm commenting on what I'm saying at the same time that I'm saying it, it is a question, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be seen as like controlling or manipulative, even like, before you think this about me, let me tell you something. Or like, if I tell you I'm thinking it about myself before you have a chance to think it about me,
right.
I can be like, I know it all. I already know what you might be judging me for in saying this,
Yeah, that's a good point. You're like already sorting out all the scenarios that they could possibly go through, right? That's very true. Yeah. It's good.
And I'm going to be going to a 5-day... you can't really call it a trauma survivors retreat. I think if it's a trauma survivors thing, it's by definition not it is a retreat because you go somewhere and you, in a verbal sense, retreat.
Yeah.
I'm going to a 5-day intensive workshop.
You're going to a battleground, a restive battleground with other trauma survivors who are...
I'm going to do a lot of really intense interactive exercises and
But it's a safe environment.
It's a very well-renowned program, and I know people who have gone, and I know a lot of people who have gone. And I didn't necessarily know when I signed up for it that all these people I knew had gone to it, but then I started telling people that I was going. They were like, oh, I went to that, or... and everybody said the same thing, that it was just incredible, life-changing.
It's weird because last time, you and me and this makes me think about my boundaries and stuff, because the reason I wanted to talk to you again was because of, like, I went into stuff that I was like, it was like too raw, and I'm like not ready to share it. So I was like, I need to go talk to Margaret again so I can have other stuff that's not that stuff, because it was just too it just doesn't feel right for me to put it out there, and it feels a little like it just doesn't feel great, some of the stuff. And that's a weird feeling if you've been like suicidally self-disclosing for a long time and you're starting to have these little walls. It's a weird feeling. It's a good healthy thing.
Interesting.
But as a comedian, you're like, what the fuck do I do now?
Well, I can't believe you said that, because I'm kind of having the opposite. I'm going in the other direction. I'm trying to. And I don't know if you're going to want to move the cat. If that's too noisy, but
Oh, hi, kitty.
he's getting into your
Cats love bags. I forget.
They love boxes and bags, and I don't know what he's sniffing. What do you have in there?
Headphones?
Headphones.
Oh, but it was a bag from a bodega, so it could have been
Yeah.
something else.
No, I mean, I admire how much it's good that you said that for a couple reasons, because I've admired how open you are. I've heard some of your stand-up with, that you talk about past abuse in your stand-up. And I admire that a lot, but you're telling me something now that makes me think maybe it hasn't been always okay for you to do that. That it hurt you. Maybe.
It was a step in the right direction, but it was
okay.
Yeah.
Because I have kind of beaten myself up for not being able to be more open in my stand-up, and feeling like I'm not gonna get to the really valuable stuff or the good stuff until I'm more willing to, there's just some topics, and I very slowly, I now have some jokes about addiction, and I have some jokes about family, but they're not they don't go into the darkest stuff, and I have felt like I'm not doing my job or something by not going far enough, and really feeling stuck in it, and feeling like, I'm not as good a comedian as I can be until I'm willing to go really deep, really dark, and I guess I don't need to. I guess I've been a little harsh with myself, but but I'm starting to go further. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the opposite of what you're saying.
It is. Huh. Yeah. It's like a journey inward or a journey outward, or like the writing.
But also those things that are that personal are the things that have the most, that are likely to be like the original stuff, that nobody's going to have the same joke.
Yeah, it's great. Nobody can steal it. That's part of it.
And it also is the stuff that is likely to be inspiring.
Yeah.
If you're revealing stuff that's difficult and somebody hears it and either has a laugh that they really need over something very painful that they relate to you about.
Yeah, those are the best laughs. Those are the good ones.
So
I hit a wall with it, is what I feel like, because I kind of I kept hitting this thing where I'm like, people are just not willing to go here with me. And I had to just accept that. There are things that especially New York audiences will go, whoa, buddy, it's like a Catholic thing or something. It makes me so angry. It makes me so mad. It makes me like we're so sick as a society. Like people are like jerking off to the sickest, filthiest things. And but listen, let me. What I'm saying is, they can't handle a bit of like disclosure that might be a little bit too much information or so. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that we're so sick and we can watch people like shoot each other, fuck each other? You know what I mean? But we can't handle a little bit of honesty.
Well,
honesty is not even the right word.
First of all, there's a lot of different audiences. So, I mean, I thought when you first brought this up, I thought you were saying how it had been difficult for you to do that, you know, jokes about those very painful subjects because, not for any reason having to do with the audiences not receiving it well. I thought it was just like somehow for you to do that was hurtful or painful to you.
Yeah.
But you're specifically saying because of the response you got, and you know, maybe you do need to pull back on that if it's painful and it's a rough go. But you know, it can take a long time to find the right audience. And also, I remember before I got sober, I did a show. I did jokes about my father drowning kittens in the lake. You know?
Did you open with that?
I did jokes about him being like a serial father, you know? And he's got a new daughter now type of thing. And I did...
That's good stuff.
I did jokes about like going... No, I totally... Are you kidding me? Like, that was the worst I've ever bombed. And, like,
Did it bomb, or were they paying really close attention?
No. I looked at faces that were war-torn, like, and I had done the violence to them, like, just by saying these things. Like, they looked scarred. And, yeah, like, my father... he wouldn't get... And it's so funny that I'm doing this, like, feral cat, like, trapping and neutering now. Duh. Like, it's... He refused to spay and neuter our pets, but then when they would have litters, sometimes he would, like, save... Like, okay, I remember waking up. The cat was pregnant, and I woke up. Cindy had her kitten. Singular, you know, like cats don't usually have kitten, singular, you know, and I swear to God, and this, I constantly doubt whether things really happened that I remember, constantly, even if as I tell you this again, I can't really believe it's true, but I remember it, and I didn't make it up, and I was an adult when this thing happened, because I have a sister who's much, much younger. She's like 18 or 19 years younger than me. And I didn't know her that well when we were younger because I was estranged from my father when she was, you know, a kid. And but when I saw her when she was a little older and she mentioned having a cat that always had one kitten. And like... That's not what happens with... And I remember, I didn't say anything to her about it at the time, but I just, like, filed it in the back of my mind, and I thought, wow. And I made a joke out of that, too. And...
Wait a minute, he did it in another instance?
I think so. I think he did it later with another wife and another child. Sorry about the hallway noise.
No, it's fine. I'm just really like...
You're like that audience.
Yeah, but it's not...
See, the jokes were well written. They were well crafted. They were good jokes. Here's the problem with those jokes. I wasn't over it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. If we're going to talk about really fucked up, deep, dark, painful shit,
Yeah.
we have to be over it.
You're never going to be over it.
Well,
Maybe you are. I'm not. I'm never going to. It's okay. But I'm going to be in a different place.
I don't mean over it like it's. How can you say that?
Because
how do you know?
Because I don't want to be over it. It's
Well, maybe we're talking. Maybe we're having
No.
a different definition for over it.
Yeah. We're splitting.
I just mean like. I was still like in the grips of.
Yeah, and
I hadn't dealt with it. I had
Yeah.
not sought treatment
Yeah.
like for it. I'm doing that now. This show that I'm talking about was probably 10 years ago.
isn't that interesting though?
And I was still like a few years away from even getting sober, let alone like having like more stability in my life to the point where I could then go to therapy and then I could find my way to this like trauma survivors thing, you know. So I don't have jokes about that stuff right now, but I think if I wanted to write jokes about it, and I did write jokes about it, I could find a way. The audience doesn't want to laugh at me if I'm in pain.
Mm-hmm.
If my pain is like fresh. They
Yeah.
can laugh at me telling jokes about past pain.
Right.
If they're looking at a wound telling jokes, that's not so funny.
No,
right?
it's not. It's like a guy.
And I don't blame them.
Right. Me neither. I get what you're saying.
I can be wounded, but I can't be a walking wound.
Yeah, that's true. Do you
But-
want to show me what's happening with your apartment? Can you?
Sure, yeah.
This is the guest room. This is the feral cat room.
Yeah, depending on what stage we're at in the proceedings, it kind of shifts from being a feral B&B to a feral cat hospital. But right now it's kind of both because Bob is in that cage recovering from castration.
Oh,
We can call it neutering.
aren't we all? I should
Well,
emphasize.
but Calpurnia is just living here now.
Okay.
Until I figure out what to do with her. But I took her to the vet yesterday and she's crunching her snacks. Got a couple left. Go ahead. She can't really see them. Do you know cats are kind of colorblind? So the snacks are very close to the color of my hand. So she can't really see them on my hand.
But she can smell
Just
them.
to feel them out or sniff them out.
We should say though, this for the people. If I leave this in here, this was probably supposed to be the bedroom. So you, with your golden heart, have taken.
I've sacrificed having a bedroom, and my bed is in the kitchen living room area.
Yeah.
What would be the kitchen living room area if...
And you've given this in New York City.
Yeah, I know.
The rent is insane.
Well, I thought about it, and I thought, well, okay, because I did have my bed in here for a few weeks, when I first got here. But then I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I can't sleep in the same room as the traps. And I have one in here now. I had this table. I had 5 traps all in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they took up most of the room. So, because my cats sleep with me and because I don't really want to sleep. Yeah, my 2. I don't really want to sleep in a room full of feral cats. And, so it was logistically just the only way it was going to work. Plus, the door is here to the yard, so bringing them in.
Yeah. Can I touch Calpurnia, or was she?
Yeah.
You think? And this is Bob. Hey. What are you supposed to do? Just like that?
Yeah.
Do they teach you stuff with the trap neuter release, like about how to? Like, I couldn't just go up to one of those cats like this.
No, but she's not feral.
Okay.
So, I'm still learning, honestly, like, what makes a cat feral and not feral. but she hangs out in here and she seems comfortable to do so, and she's not hiding, and she'll let me touch her, like. But she didn't allow me to do this much at first. She would hiss sometimes when I approached her, but that's because she was traumatized.
Yeah. Does she purr?
I mean, you gotta think,
purring?
like, she was a cat in the late stages of a fatal infection, wandering around outside in January and February, sick as hell, just looking for some food, trying to survive. Like, I mean, it's like that book, The Road, or something. It's like, you're at the end, just like, I mean, I don't know, because I couldn't get through that book. It was so depressing.
That's a good analogy. She was pushing a little shopping cart with her son.
If you want to think about, like, Bleak,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I do have a bond with her because, she does look kind of low-key right now. I don't know why she seems so low energy. Maybe she needs to eat or something. But she's perfectly content, and she is well. And, I've played with her. She sometimes displays more energy than she has right now.
I think it's amazing. I think you have a lot of empathy.
So this is Bob.
Yeah.
I wish I had named him Stanley. I didn't think of that at first.
Was that why you said you were looking on Facebook for Stanleys?
Yeah.
Hi, Bob.
Oh, you do smell. It smells. See, I'm a little concerned because he hasn't finished his food that I gave him. And he's looking a little lethargic. He had surgery yesterday. No, 2 days ago. Bob, I'm a little worried about you.
You're shining a light on him like a cop. Is that what you're supposed to do?
Well, he's completely black, and he's in the covered end of the cage, so if I don't do this, I can't see him.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's rude and all, but...
No, I'm just trying to paint a picture. It's radio.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm a little concerned about his lack of energy.
He wants to go back into the cupboard.
Yeah, that's why these are covered. They feel safe under the covered part. And that's how you clean the cage. Like, you put it back here.
Yeah.
And then you put the divider in. I'm not going to do it right now.
Okay.
I don't really need to.
Yeah,
but you put the 2 dividers in. And that way, I'm free to open up this end of the cage, clean it, then I cover it back up, and do the same thing on the other end. So I can clean out the newspapers, put in the food in the water, without getting bitten or anything.
That explains so much about, like, why cats are always into bags and boxes. Like, this
they
is
like small,
safe.
confined, dark spaces. They feel safe in there.
That's so interesting. Do you think cats were, like, cave animals or something? I mean, like, where does that come from? I don't know. I know you're not a cat anthropologist, but...
Well, I'm going in that direction, but so ask me in, I don't know, 6 months or a year. No, I mean, I think he's somebody's pet who, they didn't get him neutered. They let him out, probably because he's, reached maturity, which means he goes through these episodes where he sprays and it's a horrible, horrible smell. And so it's horrible. Like, they let him out to, like, spray all over the neighbor's yard and impregnate cats.
Yeah, that's how he acts out.
So I think he's going to return to his home, and I kind of wish I would know, like, how long before they notice that he's got, like, the corner of one ear clipped off.
Oh, like, you'll let him out and you think he'll go...
Oh, yeah. I think he lives, like, a few doors down.
That's amazing. That's hard. That'd be hard. So you would have to just, like, let him back out. Or do you go?
Oh, yeah. I let out 3 already.
Huh.
I trapped 4 at first.
Is that hard? Is that hard to do?
No. I mean, there's a specific technique. See, this is hard. I really want to let Calpurnia socialize for the listeners. One of the cats, I'm not sure which one, probably Wiley. Yeah, there's Wiley, scratching at the door to get in. They want to, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this curtain down because they can start socializing through the glass. But she did check out, meaning she's feline, HIV and leukemia negative, and she's had, treatments for fleas and ear mites and all that. But there's still one test she has to take, which is I have to collect a stool sample for. And the vet is closed tomorrow. So I'm being super cautious and not letting her mingle with my cats until she's got a 100% clean bill of health.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's hard because they're at the point where they want to...
Yeah.
They've been well aware of each other's existence now for a long time. And she's been in here since, she's been in here over 2 weeks. She's only been out of the cage for maybe 1 week. Yeah, I better do that ointment. All right, I don't really want to do this, and I'm sure you don't either. Apply small amount to both ears once a day for 10 days. Massage at base of ear canal. Please don't give me a hard time, Calpurnia. I don't think you're going to like this, but maybe I can just sort of sneak it in there, right? Squirty, squirty.
I can hear it.
She's got some in her fur, and she's going to do that, shake her head. Good girl.
I'm not stoked about it. And this is for ear mites?
Yeah, I think. Did I put too much in, hon? You're being very patient. You're being so patient. Well, you know what that means. You get positive reinforcement via treats. Could you pass me that treat bucket, please?
You have a touch or something. Serious, you got it seems like it'd be nice to be pet by you.
That's the nicest thing anyone said to me in quite a while.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
There's some people who have a nurturing touch or something. I'll stop while I'm ahead.
Yeah, get this. It's cute. That's Temptations backyard cookout chicken liver and beef flavors mix-ups that I now buy in bulk. There was a while I had 5 traps in here, and I did like it when I would come in and I would put all their food in all their cages, and then I would hear a little symphony of mouth noises all at once under the blankets. And it's really funny. I think I made a recording of it.
You did? It's just that little... Yeah.
Just the mouth noises.
If you have
it's a symphony.
I can imagine. That's really adorable.
So, I guess that's all we have to do in here for now. You're a good girl. I don't hear any purring. All right, well, you're just lounging. That's good. I'll give you some catnip, too. Not you, Andy,
okay.
But you can have some, too, if you want. Actually, humans can drink catnip tea.
Really? What happens?
It's just
give you a little
soothing, calming.
But it makes them go batshit.
Well, it does, but it also can soothe them as well. I'm a little worried about Bob, but look at Wiley at the door.
Oh, hi, Wiley.
He so wants to be in the action. And look at her. She's nestled in your coat.
Oh, that's cute. What is this spray? What is this comfort zone?
This is
spray.
It's a synthetic. It's a stress-reducing pheromone.
I could use some of that.
Unfortunately, it's only for cats, but they should have a, well, they have rescue remedy. It's probably something like that. Although I don't know that involves pheromones. But it's a synthetic version of the natural pheromones that are calming to cats, like I think that are emitted by their mothers or something. So it kind of takes them back to a safe, secure. It's for cats like in a stress environment or a stressful situation.
It sounds nice. I
mean, I can spray you with it. I don't think it'd be harmful.
spray it.
Wanna
Let's
try
somebody
it?
have a little spray.
I'm just gonna sort of there. Just oh, come on, it can't be that bad.
I just got a whiff of it.
And this is the plug-in version.
Oh, they make a Glade plug-in
Yeah,
of the
I
cat.
have there's the plug-in over here. See?
Wait a minute, the Glade?
No, it's not Glade.
But they
Come
know.
here, look. It's plugged in right there. You can see it. It's a diffuser. So it's. This is like the cat romper room. This is like, you know.
I don't think it's fair to paint you as a cat lady, so I don't want to do that because I just think there's a center for you. I like to when I talk to people, I like to find their like center, and clearly there's a center here. But like, what would you say to somebody who says you're a cat lady? What would you want them to understand to go past the surface of that comment? You know what I mean? To be if they're dismissive,
Well,
like what would you want to say to be like to respond to that statement?
well,
To know about you.
I probably wouldn't dignify that with a response in general, because it's a cliche at this point, the whole cat lady thing. Oh, you're over 40, you have a bunch of cats, you're bleeding heart for cats, there's no love in your life, you're lonely. It's like, yeah, whatever, okay, it's pretty tired. But I would ask them, I guess, what do they mean by that? What is a cat lady to you?
Well, more so, I don't mean it so much to be like a...
And I'm not saying you were saying those
Yeah.
things about me, but when people throw that phrase around.
Well, let's say that, let's take that scenario as a little confrontational. I mean, like, what if they... Like, what would you want people to know about, like why... Like, why do you do this? I mean, you have your bed in the room. You have a...
Yeah, I've made sacrifices.
Yeah, you're spending... I'm sure you spend...
I do spend a lot of money on it.
But it's deep. It goes deep, right?
Well, you know... I can't let him in here yet. I mean, I would like to, but I just can't yet. Not until that stool sample is analyzed and it's all like above board, you know? We got to do this by the book.
It's sort of, yeah.
If I approach the rest of my life with like 1/8 the rigor and, you know, standards that I apply to, you know, taking care of these cats, I'd be in good shape. You know, some of the recovery stuff I'm doing right now, you know, I'm working with a group where we're talking about a lot of things that are going on in our lives. And when I first moved here, I was devastated because I thought, you know, because I moved somewhere where there's feral cats in the backyard and in the area, and I can't say no to that. So, you know, I can't just like ignore them and not help them.
Did you come here because that? Did
well,
you
see,
know?
That's the thing. It's murky. I was in a hurry to make a decision, and there's like a cat hangout out back. The previous tenants took care of the feral cats too. So there's like, I didn't see any cats when I came to look at the place, but I saw evidence of cats. I saw that cats had been here, and it was mentioned to me, like, yeah, there's some feral cats, but like when you don't actually see the cats themselves,
yeah,
it can kind of be like a vague concept.
But that was
when you don't see the actual cats. But it was not a surprise to me. Like, yes, I was aware. I was told there were some cats, and I saw some cat hangouts, you know?
That makes sense.
But I kind of like when I was doing my pro and con list and trying to decide whether to move here and all this stuff, I kind of just glossed over it. And when I first moved here and I thought, oh shit, now I'm a feral cat colony manager. Like, I have this role in life now, and like, I have no choice in the matter because like, my first thought was, and it sounds really judgmental to me now, like, you're so stupid for picking this place and putting yourself in this position, and I thought, it's an elaborate form of self-sabotage where I'm never going to, like, get any of my goals done because I'm going to be, like, living for these cats and everything. And, my kind of, I guess, mentor in one of these groups that I'm working with mentioned something about, like, how it would help me heal, because, like, it's not lost on me that I'm in this place in my life where I'm suddenly really, not suddenly, but I am now in a place where I am able and willing to deal with the trauma of the past. And, cats are not humans. They're not the same as humans. I don't know what it's like I wish I could, like, have access to a cat brain and know what goes on in there, but it's not the same thing, but they have hardships, and some of them in particular are traumatized by certain things. And so, yeah, there is something that heals me when I go and, like, take care of these animals.
You gonna get a cat? That's my guess. That's Margaret Dodge. I almost got one after this episode. She was kind enough to tell that I wasn't ready, I think, for the responsibility, and so she didn't hassle me about it. But I hope that you enjoyed that. Sometimes I become close to people as I do these episodes, and I definitely have done that with Margaret. She's become a good friend. And I hope that after listening to this, you go check her out. Check out her stand-up, or check out her show on Fridays on Radio Free Brooklyn, at Radio Free BK. Fridays at 7. You can go there to find out how to listen. At Dodge City Radio. That's her Twitter handle. And I don't know. There's a lot more to this woman, even than the one area that I sort of focused on here with this episode. She is a dynamic human being with a lot of depth. Dynamic with lots of depth. I don't know, you do these episodes and you hope that the person comes across, and so I release Margaret Dodge back into the world. I hope I didn't trap or neuter her in any way. Okay, I hope you check out the show next week. The very funny Katina Correo is going to be on the show. So tune in next Tuesday, download the show, and you won't be disappointed. It's a very good one. These are all my babies. Take care of yourself. If you're in New York, call the Sidney Hillman Health Center if you need some mental health help. They're not sponsoring me, but they've helped me out a ton. I don't know, it's just one entry point into the horribly complex world of mental health treatment. And they can probably point you to somebody if your insurance isn't jiving or whatever. Alright, we'll talk later.